We're just getting started here in LA for NBA Tip-Off Week, and look who's stopping by this week. Tomorrow, Miles Brown will join us. How about Meta World Peace will be in the house? Michael Ealy, Larry Wilmore joined the program Wednesday. Thursday, Jeff Garland stops by, and Friday we have Tachina Arnold and Lorenz Tate. That's all week here on First Take from LA. You already know this. We're a day away from the start of the NBA season, and several stars will be debuting in their new digs. AD, Kawhi, PG-13 all join LeBron here in the City of Angels. KD and Kyrie are in Brooklyn. Russell Westbrook calls Houston home, and Kemba Walker is in Beantown. But how many of them will be feeling the pressure in 2019? You know what it is? Time for Steven's A-List.
Your boys in the house in LA studios. I got my man Mike Wilbon over there. My man Boris Kodjoe right here. We'll get to, trust me, he'll agree with everything I say because that's my brother. He knows better. Let's get to the top 5 NBA players under the most pressure max for this upcoming 2019-2020. Number 5, Kyrie Irving. Why? Did you see that man leave Boston? Did you see how they looked when he was in Boston last year? Now you left for Brooklyn. You talked to us about some personal issues you were battling. They are in the past. You're the new franchise guy, at least until Kevin Durant comes. Kyrie Irving under pressure in Brooklyn, New York. Let's go to number 4 on the list. Give it to me right now. Ben Simmons. Why? Because he needs a jump shot. That's why. And if you are Ben Simmons and you look at the Philadelphia 76ers, Ben Simmons having a jump shot literally holds the Philadelphia 76ers championship aspirations in his hands. It's just that simple. Give me number 3 on this list, please. Give it up there. Where is it? James Harden. Why? Because you're James Harden. That's why. Because you average 36. That's why. Because you're one of, if not the most prolific scorer in the NBA. But there's no birth to the NBA Finals to show for it since you've been in Houston, and now you got Russell Westbrook there. CP3 is gone. You got to get that done, James Harden. Let's go to number 2 on the list. Give it to me. Russell Westbrook. Why? Because you're with James Harden. That's why. Because you're in Houston. That's why. And because since Kevin Durant left OKC, you haven't been out of the first round. You heard me talking to him, Wilbur. Let's go to number 1 on the list. Pressure. Give it up now. LeBron James. You're supposed to be the king, but the crown belongs to Kawhi Leonard. Oh, by the way, not just Kawhi Leonard, but before that, Steph Curry. You haven't been a champion in the last several years. The king doesn't have a crown. Now you got Anthony Davis. You got to get it.
You're going to make it through the week with your voice?
Everybody,
hey,
get
what's
him.
up? How is everybody doing?
Good to have you with us.
Have a seat, brother.
Good to see you, man.
There's a lot wrong with this. Well, it's a good list, but there are some things wrong. First of all, other than LeBron, who's always under the most pressure, he's the biggest name. He has to win a title in New York, in LA.
That's
James
like a workout
Harden.
right there.
James Harden, Stephen A. Westbrook above Harden. James Harden's an MVP candidate every single year, and when the lights are shining brightest, he doesn't come through. Him.
2 names, James Harden and Simmons. I agree with.
Okay.
I do not agree with LeBron James at all.
What?
When he was 9 years old, he started having pressure. He's used to pressure.
Okay.
Pressure is his middle name.
That doesn't mean he doesn't have it. It just means he can deal with it.
Well, pressure has to do with public perception and what you expect of yourself. It's a combination of the two.
Okay.
He always expects excellence from himself. He's used to that. So he's not going to feel any extra pressure this year just because he's playing.
And now he's got AD.
I disagree. Because last year he didn't have a championship caliber team around him. And by the way,
that's motivation. He has new motivation.
I don't think he really quite
And he was
does
hurt
yet
last year.
either. I think they're close, but it's going to take him another year to put the pieces just right. But the expectations now by people like Stephen A. is they're going to win it all this year.
Let me come to you with this one.
Okay.
And I'll leave this to you. I'm going to give you the floor.
Please.
It's L.A. Do you realize that if LeBron James doesn't win a championship in L.A., he will be the only marquee superstar in the history of the Lakers franchise, dating back to the NBA's inception with George Mikan.
Elgin.
Well, Elgin was retired. That year he retired, they got the championship, but I got it. But the point is, he will be the only mega superstar other than Elgin Baylor to have not won a championship in a Lakers jersey. You realize that?
He's not worried about that.
Okay.
He's got arguably the best power forward in the league next to him for the first time. He's never played with somebody of that caliber before. He's got a team around him that'll support him. Wherever he goes, the team will follow. He is one of the most intelligent players we have in this league. He knows how to manage his time throughout the season. in terms of injuries.
He's got his same building, not just in the same town, in the same building, the reigning and defending Finals MVP, who has a Finals MVP for the defense he played on LeBron before he even knew what he was doing, who's in his prime with Paul George on a team that just won 48 games. It took a fully loaded Golden State team 6 games in his building.
He's LeBron James.
He will excel at any stage of the season, especially playoffs. He will be LeBron James. LeBron is going to do LeBron.
But that's still pressure.
But there's nothing new to him. So I don't see it as heightened pressure because he's been like this ever since he started playing in the league.
One thing I was surprised, though, you didn't put Steph Curry on there with the injuries and losing KD.
Not at all.
Like he's got to carry that
because
team.
I think Klay Thompson will be back before the season is over, and then they will remind the world they're the greatest shooting backcourt in history, and plus going to 5 NBA Finals, winning 3 championships in the last 5 years. I don't think with KD being gone and the injury to Klay Thompson, I don't think there's pressure on Steph Curry.
You know what? For some reason with Steph, to me, it doesn't feel like it's going to be pressure. To me, it feels like, oh my God, what Steph's about to do to people. Like, to me, Steph got the handcuffs. He's such an unselfish player. Now he has the handcuffs off. He's going to be able to see what he can do.
Not wanting him to have the game-winning shot.
Compared to Iggy, who I felt was cooler under pressure, even though not nearly the shooter. But Steph showed me something. These things are not set in stone. Steph showed me something in the finals last year for the first time with the money on the line. He was hitting big shots in the finals.
Speaking of big shots, he's going to hit about 30 of them every game.
Yeah.
This season.
That's the thing.
Pretty much.
He's going to have the green light and like going to need the best thing for the team is that he shoots a lot.
Let me ask you this, because you and your wife, obviously A-listers out here in Hollywood. Do you feel like there's any shot if Kawhi comes out here PG-13, they dominate, they win the chip, can they ever turn this city, this younger generation, or is it always going to be Lakers town?
Lakers is a legacy brand. It's a legacy franchise. It's going to take 50 years for the Clippers to even compete with that kind of legacy, even if they win 5 championships in a row. It's just the way that LA has been built. But I think it's interesting because for the first time in a lot of years, we have true parity. I think the Clippers were a real playoff team last year. Doc Rivers is a genius. And I believe that with the addition of Kawhi and PG, they have extra offensive powers, but also on the defensive end, they're going to be monsters, especially on the perimeter.
What you said about Doc is right on the money. They have a great coach. Like, we can't overlook the advantages they have, not only as a cohesive unit from last year, add 2 MVP caliber players, but they have a great coach. And the Lakers have a coach.
Well, Boris, you don't realize this, but you just made my point for me. Because of the brilliance of Doc Rivers, could you imagine if LeBron and the Lakers lost out to the Clippers? No pressure there, huh? I think it is. I think it is.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to. LeBron is going to be LeBron. He's the king. He's going to be the king.
Is he going to be MVP?
I think LeBron's going to be MVP. It's going to be between him and Steph Curry. I think Steph Curry has a shot to be MVP because of what we just talked about. He's going to take 30 shots
for MVP.
That's interesting.
His real quality, his real genius is going to come out this season without KD.
By the way, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, there are some other young guys with pressure too.
Yeah, tell us about KoFit.
KoFit is a family fitness app that we came up with, my brother Patrick and myself. We figured out that there's no fitness apps for families. You know, our kids, they don't have PE at school anymore. They're sitting at home on the couch. This generation, first time in the history of the world, has a shorter life expectancy than their parents, which has never happened before. Right? So, but we also found out that a lot of people are intimidated by the fitness industry. It's all about 6-packs. It's all about summer bods, and they feel alienated. They don't want to participate. A lot of us don't have the time to go to the gym. They don't have money for the gym. So we are simplifying workouts and nutrition by way of just telling people to do it 5 minutes a day to create healthy habits in their lives. So we do it together as a family. So everybody out there, we just started.
You have no equipment? Can it be that
no
kind of
equipment?
Thing? It could be in your apartment or.
Need any equipment. You got 5 minutes.
You got 5 minutes.
All about living your best life, being healthier.
It helps your hair grow too, Steve. Yeah.
Sure. I knew he was going to throw that in. I knew he was going to throw that in.
You may not be the best spokesman for that part of it.
Well, I've been telling him I gave up on it. I said, let it go.
He's right. You don't tell LeBron
He's
that.
not
You
gonna
don't tell
shave it
LeBron that.
off.
He's younger than me.
Hey, next time I see him, I'll tell him.
I'm in my 50s.
So what?
I got you.
Boris,
I got
thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate you.
No.
Up next here on First Take, we are talking Cowboys. Who better to do that than the playmaker Michael Irvin? Here for a whole hour. Get your towel ready.
Lord.
There he is. On one already. My
What's up,
It's
man?
on.
Let me tell you, I know. How you doing, Molly?
Hey.
I know you didn't expect this, did you? Yeah. When you were calling me, you didn't expect it to go down like this. Boy, we got a lot to talk about.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
we got a
boy.
lot to talk about. Boy, hey, life is good, folks. Life is good.